Hi guys, so in today's video I'm going to be taking a look at sort of chill out music. I'm going to be using some 80s synths and stuff in there, or 80s inspired sounds, but it's mainly going to be looking at sort of chill out music and stuff that could maybe help you fall asleep. If you're sick of watching Bob Ross on Twitch, you could maybe listen to something like this to help you sort of fall asleep. So what I'll do is I'll quickly play through the track, like you have a listen to the full track, and then I'll go in and break down what I've sort of added in and why I've added it in. So here we go. Okay, so a couple of things to talk about first of all with regards to this genre. One of them is width. You need plenty of width in the track. Now, I'm not talking about sticking a stereo enhancer on everything and just making it wider. I'm talking about width as in panning. Panning is a big thing when you come to making sort of chill out music. So when I'm talking about panning, I'm talking about have like a sound coming from the right and then coming from the left and the right, making stuff coming from either sides, making the track quite wide is a big thing to help make this sort of genre. When we're looking at this, we're looking at we don't really want to surprise the listener. That's not the idea, is to surprise the listener. So when you're bringing in sounds, introduce them one at a time. We're not looking to build a dance floor hit here. We're not looking to have a massive impact when the track drops. We're looking to gradually build sounds in without the listener really knowing that these sounds are sort of coming in, and have them building up so the listener's not really listening out for it, but they can sort of hear them if you understand what I'm saying. So I'll go through what I've actually got. So first of all, we'll look at the pad. And this is just from this the N6, and this is just a preset called Poly 6 pad. So the main section of the pad is sort of here. This is sort of the main part of the pad. So when we first introduce the pad, we start off, like I said, very, very simple. And then we build it up over time. And then here we have a slight change in the pad. So that's the sort of the backbone of the track, just a nice pad that's moving from left to right, not heavy in the mix, cut down nice and low, and then we have this arp which is just repeating backwards and forwards. This is Spire, and this there's nothing on this. We've just used the delay and stuff inside actual Spire. And oh yeah, so the pad as well, you have a doubler on the pad, and this just makes it feel a little bit wider. So if we play it without the doubler, the pad itself, so you can just see there that it sits a little wider in the mix. And then we have this, plenty of delay on there. And that there's ping-ponging back and forward, so you're hearing it ping-ponging back and forward. Just nice and relaxing. And then we move on to this pedal pad. So this pedal pad is just playing one note. It's a nice high, sort of wide, moving pad that's moving, and that's one of the key things when you're making this. You want to make sure your sounds are moving all the time, especially when it's very, very minimal. If you have the same sort of sounds playing and there's not much change in these sounds, the listener will get bored very easily when you try and keep the listener engaged. So we've got this sort of pedal sound. And then underneath that, so this pedal sound actually comes in two parts. So if I play both parts together, so you can hear them bottom two sounds there. What I've actually done is I've turned them off and I've duplicated it, because them sounds are very, very loud and I don't want them always playing. So what I've done is I've duplicated it and I've kept the top sound, the sort of paddy sound, playing, and then the sort of other two sounds which are like sort of like a hit sound that's been mutated, I've added them on their own little channel, and you get this. So very, very weird sounding, but when they're in the mix together, they work quite well. There's nothing on either of them two channels, and then we go into like the wood sort of hit sound, and this is I just made this in this is in Silent, yeah. And this I've made this sort of very pulled back in the mix. It's just mimicking a heartbeat with some reverb on there. We've also got this. We're actually controlling the stereo of this. We're actually making this go back and forward, left and right. In the mix. The next we move on to this piano sound. So what we've actually done with this is we've actually changed the start of the notes to make them feel more like they're being pressed rather than they're being programmed in, to give it more of a sort of a human feel. And then towards the end of it, when it changes, we'll just change the melody slightly and just have a few more notes being pressed. And again, moving the notes back and forward slightly, so not sort of rigidly started, gives it more of a human sort of feel to it. Then down here we have this sort of vocal effect. And we have this coming up in volume. And at the very end of it here, so we have a sort of a reverb on there. I'll show you the reverb. We have a reverb on there. But at the very, very end, we have the reverb open right up. The decay open right up, so it plays along. So if you listen to it, I'll show you what I mean here. You get that very nice long tail, and that's the reverb opening right up, the decay opening right up towards the end. And then we have a couple of effects, water effects. These are just like water droplets, where I've got one left, one right, and one in the centre. But what I've done is I've reversed it, so it sounds slightly different. And then we have some dirt, which is just like radio crackle. And then when the sort of second part of it kicks in, everything sort of stays the same. We have sort of very, very sort of similar structure, because like I said, we don't want to keep things as simple as possible. But I've also just added, just for a little bit of difference, I've added a second sort of melody in there. And this is panning left and right. But it's not one note panning left and the other note panning right, so it's not going left, right, left, right. I've actually changed it so it goes like left, right, right, left, left, right, right, left, left, just to give it a bit of a different sort of feeling. And as you can tell, it's brought back in the mix quite a lot. So guys, that's about it really for this video. So I'll run over a couple of the key things again that we've got. So we want to keep the melody nice and simple. We're not looking for nothing, you know, out of you. We're not looking for you to make another Avicii track with regards to melody. Keep it nice and simple. Keep the sounds you use Nice and light as well, nothing heavy in there. We're not looking at festival leads or anything like that. It's got nice, soft, simple sounds, plucks, cut off filter right down. A lot of delay, ping pong delay. We're looking for a lot of noises coming left and right, and we're looking for those unique sounds as well that have a lot of movement to them. For example, like these sounds here, a lot of movement, so it keeps the listener engaged at all times. A lot of reverb. Reverb can help quite a lot by pushing your sound right back in the mix. And then sound effects as well, like we've got the water sort of sound effects. Remember, stuff like that: water, thunder, lightning, jungle rustle, nighttime noises, grasshoppers, anything like that that you can, that sort of ambient noises that you put in the background, so the listener's not necessarily hearing up front, but they're there to keep, so the listener's not getting bored or anything like that. And then keep the things nice and simple. We want no sudden sounds. We don't want 3 or 4 sounds coming in at once. Introduce the sounds one at a time and keep things nice and simple so the listener stays engaged. So I would definitely recommend listening back to this track with your eyes closed, headphones on. It's definitely better to listen with headphones with your eyes closed, and you'll hear the sounds coming in and sort of the feel that I'm going for in the track. But apart from that, guys, that's about it. Thanks for watching.